What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to episode 90 of the Access to Combat podcast. I'm one half of your host, Hugo the Boss. Hugo got next, joined by my co-host.
It's your boy Ray Boogie Kahuna. On today's episode, we're going to be breaking down UFC 313, Poatan versus Ankalaev. Before we get into any of that, though, my brother, tell them what the deal is.
Like, comment, subscribe, follow Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok.
Everybody enjoying the visual portion of this podcast, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and hit that notification bell to stay up to date.
And for all of our audio listeners, Spotify, Apple, Google Podcast, you already know.
First fight on the card, at men's flyweight, we have Rei Tsuruya going one-on-one with the fearless Joshua Van. Tsuruya, perfect. 10-0, fighting out of Japan, hailing from Japan, 22 years old. Van, 12-2 overall, fighting out of Houston, Texas, but repping Myanmar, 23 years old. Excellent way to kick off the card, in my opinion. On paper, we have a striker versus grappler here. Generally, in those type of fights, I tend to pick the wrestler, right? Especially from a betting perspective, it's safe. I don't think I'll be going that way in this particular bout. Now they say, Ray, why not? Why wouldn't you go to wrestler here? Tsuruya is, junior Olympic level wrestler, undefeated. My man had Shinsuke Nakamura walk him out. What can go wrong? Now, what's going to go wrong is Joshua Van is going to fuck some shit up. Josh Van, more UFC experience. This is probably the most difficult wrestler he's faced. Joshua Van is the type to, kind of ease his way into the matchup. So the way I kind of see this fight playing out is, Tsuruya early. He might be able to take him down. Matter of fact, he probably will take him down in the first round. Might take him down in the second round. But Josh Van, he's the adaptive type. Joshua Van, in my opinion, is the side here. And I think he wins third round decision.
Yeah, I'm with you on the lean, but from a play, this might be a dog or pass spot. They got Josh Van sitting at -190, Tsuruya on a return at +150. I feel like this fight should be lined a little closer, and it's literally because Josh Van does start slow. This is the best wrestler he's faced, in my opinion. This guy who's going to spam the takedowns, and I think he has very good ways of getting to his takedown positions. Like Cody Djorden is a gas bag. He's going to be good for one round, then fall out. Chirez is not that guy. He's a guy that's going to stand and strike with him. From a UFC standpoint, this is probably the toughest fight that he's had from a wrestling standpoint. And the thing is, I just question the UFC's motives because it seems like they wanted to push Josh Van at one point and he's still opening up the card on a prelim, like an early prelim technically. So for me, I think there's a dog or pass spot, especially a striker versus a wrestler and a good wrestler at that. Give me Josh Van as the lead, but Tsuruya as the possible dog play, considering the line movement. I want to see if it opens up a little bit more because people are just on the name of Josh Van. But if it gets like a +180, I think it's completely playable. So give me Van once again as the lean, Tsuruya as the possible dog play.
Next fight on the card at men's heavyweight, we have Curtis Razor Blaydes going one-on-one with Rizvan Kuniev. Blaydes, 18-5, fighting out of Chicago, Illinois, 34 years old. Rizvan, 13-2-1, fighting out of Russia, hailing from Russia, 31 years old. I hope this is not the bout order because they have Curtis Blaydes deep down on the card. Deep. Like, he's not even like regular prelims. They got him early prelims here. A little disrespectful if you ask me. But Rizvan here, another quote-unquote wrestler, a guy I'm not really too impressed with at the moment. I don't think he's going to be able to out-wrestle Blaydes here, but he does pack some power, throws decent combinations. It's probably his only way to win here. I'm going to be picking Blaydes. I think Blaydes is going to be able to take him down, out-wrestle the wrestler, and beat him up. I could see ground and pound finish here, but, in any Curtis Blaydes fight, you always have to worry about the IQ. So I'm not completely ruling out the KO on the other side as well. But official pick is going to be Curtis Blaydes here.
Yeah, this Rizvan guy.
I'm not impressed by your performance.
I think this is a mismatch of like epic proportions. I not to say he's a wrestler, but like if you look at his footage, he doesn't really go to it. At least the footage that's available to us. And Curtis Blaydes is probably the best wrestler at heavyweight on the open mat, outside of maybe John Jones, but maybe not John Jones at this age. For me, this is an easy play. People wanted to fade him against Jalin. I play Curtis. Easy money.
I did that.
If you're asking me, I think Curtis is the better striker. Low key, I think he's the cleaner striker. I don't think he hits hard. I think he has better technique with his punching. He's just better than him everywhere. This is a complete mismatch. To your point, I don't even know why he's this low on the cards. Maybe because it is Rizvan.
I mean, who knows? Maybe this is a TBD. We do this early on in the week, so they might rearrange this. But I mean, Jesus, second on the early prelims is kind of rough.
Yeah. I agree 100%. I don't think this is a fight that Curtis should lose. I think Curtis probably gets it done ITD. I think he puts him on the floor and smashes his face. I think people think they can wrestle at this level until they wrestle Curtis. And then Curtis is a different thing. He's a guy that cuts to 265. You know what I'm saying? So, and he's a JUCO national champion. So give me Curtis Blaydes here inside the distance.
Next fight on the card at featherweight, we have Mairon Santos going one-on-one with Fire Francis Marshall. Santos, 4-1 overall, fighting out of Las Vegas, Nevada, but repping Brazil, 24 years old. Francis Marshall is 8-2 overall, fighting out of New Jersey, 25 years old. On paper, this is a fight that you would think Francis Marshall should be able to win here. I mean, again, a guy he walks forward, heavy pressure, and, you know, his bread and butter is the wrestling. Should be able to take Santos down, hold him down, beat him up. But I just don't think that's going to be the case here. Santos is a guy coming off the Ultimate Fighter. I think was the last Ultimate Fighter that they had. Underestimated the guy. I'll admit it. I picked Khan against him. I regretted that immediately. Santos hits hard. I think underrated striker. It's a little unconventional the way he stands and kind of just moves around, but it's very effective. Hard to take down, and if you're able to take him down, he's pretty quick to get up, finds his way back up on his feet, and you know, he's Brazilian, so you know he's got jiu-jitsu in the pocket somewhere. I'm gonna be leaning Santos here for the win. I don't think it's even gonna be that. I think the fight's going to be entertaining, but I don't think it's going to be even, if that makes any sense. It might look a little one-sided, but give me Santos for the win here. I'll say Santos by KO.
Yeah, I'm with you on Santos. I think Santos knocks him out, to be honest with you. I've never been that high on Francis Fire Marshall. He is a guy that can somewhat spam takedowns, and I think that's the only way you can really beat Mairon. But the thing is, you have to have gas to do that, right? He doesn't really have a great gas tank. His entries are okay. His striking is okay. He's just an okay fighter. I think Mairon, to your point, he is not only difficult to take down, he's even more difficult to hold down. Very good against the cage, very good at knowing how to use the cage to get up. Hits extremely hard. Shocked a lot of people on the show because I think a lot of people were overlooking him, especially since he was one of the younger guys on the show. Unreal power and pretty good awkward precision. I think he packs him up within 2 rounds. Give me Santos by knockout here.
Next fight on the card at men's welterweight, we have the Great White, Alex Morono, going one-on-one with the Lion, Carlos Leal. Morono, 24-11, fighting out of Houston, Texas, 34 years old. Leal, 21-6. Fighting out of Brazil, hailing from Brazil, 30 years old. So we got the Shark versus the Lion here. And, you know, depending on the territory, depending on the environment, you know, if it's in the water, Shark probably gonna get washed. Actually, no, if it's in the water, the Lion gonna get washed. If it's on land, Shark is getting washed, right? I think it's kind of similar here because I think if this fight gets to the ground, I think Morono, I think his jiu-jitsu is pretty decent. But if this fight stays standing up, I think Leal gonna beat he's gonna dog walk him. He's gonna beat the shit out of him. Let's keep it a buck.
The dog shit.
He's gonna beat the dog shit out of him. Leal, a good signing from the UFC in my opinion. Formerly of the PFL, absolutely got rinsed in his debut. Bullshit decision in my opinion. Alex Morono, a guy who they kind of been giving old people to, so he can beat up. I just have no faith in Morono whatsoever anymore. I think he's a decent striker. I think he's a decent fighter, but could just never put it together in my opinion. I think Leal is going to be the side here. I think Leal, with his pressure, with his power, gets on Morono early and clips him, probably first, second round knockout. Leal's the side for me.
Yeah, Leal's the side. I'm just not taking him at the slide. He's a minus 600 right now in some books. I think he probably will cover that line. I think he knocks him out too. But Alex Morono has this weird thing where he's a hard fighter to cap. He's a hard guy to pick and he's a hard guy to fade.
100%. He's one of those guys where it's like when you least expect it, he's just going to beat somebody he shouldn't be beating.
Correct. And he does have great jiu-jitsu. If he was more committal to his punches, he'd be a high-level fighter. He just doesn't commit. He's not a guy that really commits to stopping dudes. He's a guy that will have someone hurt and doesn't finish the fight. Then on top of that, he always seems to like creepily find his way into decisions. As much as I want to pick Carlos Leal via knockout here, I feel like this is a fight where Morono could somehow find his way to the judge's decision. I think Leal's the goods. I think he hits hard. I thought he beat the dog piss out of Fakhretdinov, and it was just a clear, one of the most egregious robberies I've ever seen in my life.
It was pretty bad.
It was bad. It was bad. He whipped his ass. And it's just because they were on Fakhretdinov's side of the world that the judges gave him the decision. But if you're asking me, this is Carlos' fight to lose. If Carlos loses, it's because of himself. I don't think Alex Morono's got it for him. I think Alex Morono's a little shot too. Give me Carlos Leal by knockout or point here. But we're going to see closer to fight time how we're going to play this because it may be unplayable just because of the lines. Give me Carlos Leal, though.
Next fight on the card at men's middleweight, we have Ozzy Diaz going 1-on-1 with the debuting Djorden Shakur Santos. Diaz is 9-3 overall, fighting out of Los Angeles, California, 34 years old. Santos, 10-1 overall, fighting out of Brazil, hailing from Brazil, 27 years old. I'll start on the Ozzy Diaz side here. A mid fighter. Absolutely mid. I mean, listen, former LFA champion. I mean, sure, who cares about that, right? He's come up into the UFC through the Contender Series where he got knocked out by Joe Pyfe and got banged on by Ming Yang. Hey, yo. I mean, this guy's, he's just a mid fighter. Striking's mid, grappling's mid. I'm just not impressed with the guy overall.
I'm not impressed by your performance.
Not one damn bit. And now he's going against a debuting guy here in Djorden, Silent D, Djorden, pause, Santos. His nickname's Shakur, so I don't know. Man's all over the place, yeah. I think he's trained with a pair of brothers. I think it's the Bone Fiend brothers. Made his debut in the UFC in the Contender Series. Also not really impressed with the guy, but I do think he's better than Santos.
I'm not impressed by your performance.
I also think he's better than Diaz. So for that reason alone, I have no interest in this fight in particular. I think it's just two guys who are just kind of mid in the middle of the card in a middling fight, doing middling shit. Give me Santos here for the win and his debut.
If you guys watch Game of Thrones, if you remember that episode, Battle of the Bastards, this is Battle of the Mid.
Battle of the Mid.
Yeah, this is pretty bad. This is a fight that I don't have a ton of interest in betting. Possibly, I want to see how some of these lines shake out. If you're asking me who I think sucks less, it's Santos. Ozzy Diaz.
You absolutely suck.
I don't think he belongs at this level. I really don't. I think he's a guy that should probably stay in LFA. I can't even remember his age, to be frank, but he doesn't look young. You got to show me something, and I'm just not there. This is Santos' fight to win or lose. Give me Santos here for the win.
Next fight on the card at men's middleweight, we have the Hulk, Bruno Ferreira, going 1-on-1 with Superman, Armen Petrosyan. Little Marvel versus DC action we got going on. Ferreira is 12-2 overall, fighting out of Brazil, hailing from Brazil, 32 years old. Petrosyan, 8-4 overall, fighting out of Armenia, hailing from Armenia, 34 years old. I think on paper, and I think in the actual fight, this is going to be primarily a stand-up affair. We got two strikers. I think Petrosyan is probably the more technical striker. Both guys, I think, are coming off of losses. Petrosyan's last fight, unfortunate knockout to Shara Bullet.
Double spinning back fist.
Where he got hit with a Tekken move, just straight up and down, like double spinning back fist. And Brunno also coming off a loss. I think it was a Busamo Nurmagomedov, if I'm not mistaken. And I think that went the distance. Ugly fight, but entertaining fight. I think Bruno's striking is a little underrated. I am very impressed in his shot selection in terms of his striking shot selection. And the fact that he kind of just like seamlessly switches stances without skipping a beat. Is he gonna knock out Petrosyan here? Maybe. I'm gonna lean Brunno here. I think he's the better prospect. He probably hits harder of the two guys here, and he does have some submission grappling upside if this fight ever went to the ground. He's not the type to shoot. Give me Brunno here for the win. I'm picking him. He's the side.
Yeah, I'm with you here. I'm gonna lean the dog here for a couple of reasons. Bruno Ferreira, he has the punching power. He has the grappling edge. Petrosyan kind of showed us in his last fight against Shara Bullet that he kind of doesn't know how to enter space. He doesn't really feint. He feints, but not really. It's weird. He allowed Shara to get off his offense very easily. And for me, I think Ferreira has very good shot selection, to your point. Very underrated jiu-jitsu off his back. So even if he does get taken down in this fight, he can probably throw up a submission and sub this dude. Vieira ran through him like a hot knife through butter. I know it's Vieira versus Ferreira's jiu-jitsu. I understand that, but Petrosyan looked like a white belt on the floor is the point. So for me, Ferreira is the clear lead. I see Petrosyan probably controlling this fight until he's not. This is Petrosyan 101, because he kind of controlled the fight in big spurts against Shara and then got hurt, got banged on bad. So for me, this is dog or pass. Give me Ferreira here for the lead.
Next fight on the card at men's lightweight, we have the Tarantula, Jalin Turner, going 1-on-1 with La Jaula, Ignacio Bahamondes. Turner, 14-8 overall, fighting out of San Bernardino, California, 29 years old. Bahamondes is 16-5, fighting out of Chicago, Illinois, but repping Chile, 27 years old. This is a very interesting matchup and a very excellent matchup in my opinion. I keep going back and forth with who I think I want to pick here. I think Jalin Turner, if he's able to get his wrestling going in particular in this matchup, if he's able to take Bahamondes down and control him, or even just cage push him and, you know, just stop the offense of Bahamondes, I think he can win this fight. The issue is that Bahamondes, I just completely keep underestimating this guy. Deadly striker, hits hard. He's definitely the harder puncher of the two guys here. Definitely the more experienced stand-up of the two guys here. If this fight stays standing, I think Jalin Turner is probably going to go to sleep, low-key. Also, Jalin Turner doesn't really often fight guys his size. Bahamondes is a big man. Pause. I mean, both these guys are large, AO, for for lightweight. I kind of want to pick Bahamondes here. It just depends if Jalin Turner puts on the singlet. From a betting perspective, it's probably dog or pass. I just got this weird feeling that Jalin Turner is going to get slept. So give me Bahamondes here for the win.
Yeah, and rightfully so. This fight's line as a pick'em. This is probably the hardest fight on the card to cap. I'm going to be honest with you. Like, in terms of like calling what may or may not happen, there's so many things. I can see this fight ending in submission. But Bahamondes has worked on his grappling. He's working directly with Belal Muhammad. So for me, I know he's getting pushed in that training room with the wrestling. I'm going to lean Bahamondes just for that simple fact, low key. I think we kind of know what Jalin Turner is. I would like to see if he's even going to make weight, to be frank, because he's humongous for 55. He's also lean, and I don't know who in his corner thought it was a good idea his last fight to put on 6 pounds of muscle mass, and then he struggled to make weight and then dropped Moicano and got like fucking massacred the second round.
He tried to hit him with the walk-off and he only got to second base. That's what happened there.
Yeah, then he never made it home.
Yeah, never made it home.
Oh my goodness. You know, so, and we picked Turner in that fight, which was really annoying. The power edge, I'm going to be honest with you, I think it's closer than we probably think. The chin edge is on Bahamondes. Bahamondes can take a shot much better than Jalin Turner, in my opinion.
I think if you ask me, I think Jalin Turner's probably got the faster hands.
Yes.
But I don't know. Bahamondes cracks.
They both crack.
And 100%, I'm with you. Bahamondes got the chin.
He's got the way better chin. For me, for those instances, even though Turner does have the grappling upside, I feel like you probably lean Turner. But man, this is one of those fights, coin flip. I'll lean Turner just for the pick, but I'm not completely sold that he's going to win this fight. It's very low confidence, to be frank with you, just because of the wrestling and grappling upside. But once again, I think fight ends in sub is a very interesting play here, just because I do feel like they both kind of need, well, Turner in particular needs this win. And Bahamondes has been working his chokes. They are both lengthy enough to apply Bravo chokes and head and arm chokes. Give me Turner for the lean man, but not with a high degree of confidence. This is a pick that could definitely change later in the week.
Next fight on the card at men's lightweight, we have King Green, the artist formerly known as Bobby, going one-on-one with one shot, Mauricio Ruffy. Green, 32, 16-1, fighting out of Cali, 38 years old. Ruffy, 11-1 overall, fighting out of Brazil, hailing from Brazil, 28 years old. Another fight. There's going to be no kind of grappling involved, in my opinion. This is a pure striker's delight for everybody who likes those kind of matchups. 10-year age gap, which I didn't realize until just now. A fight where I think Bobby can still be kind of live, only because Ruffy, even though he's part of the fighting nerds, if you had to rank him, he's probably, no offense, he's probably the wackest of the nerds.
Yeah, which is crazy considering how high level his striking is.
That being said, he ain't no slouch. I mean, they're calling him Brazilian Conor. Kind of fights like Conor McGregor a bit, like he's got that karate stance, hits hard, he's in and out. Almost, it's a bit of a combination of like McGregor and like Wonder Boy a bit, right? That being said, I mean, like his last fight, like he was fucking working Lontop. And credit to Lontop. I mean, he gained more respect for me in that fight than any other fight, because Lontop, that man took a fucking beating. And in the third round, I mean, I guess because Ruffy just got tired of like smoking him, pause. He was able to take that third round off of him.
I agree.
But it was still a Ruffy win, still impressive win. I mean, I think anybody else that would have got hit like that probably would have went to sleep. Bobby Green, actually, no, sorry, don't want to offend him. King Green, the artist formerly known as Bobby. Excellent strike in his own right, excellent takedown defense. He's not going to have to use that in this fight. I think he can connect on Ruffy. I agree. I still think he's got the hand speed. I do worry about his age, though, in terms of his chin, because Ruffy cracks. For that reason alone, I'm about medium confidence on it. I'm going to be leaning Ruffy here for the win. It's going to suck to see, because I think the last time he got knocked out was against Jalin Turner, actually, right?
Yeah, bad
Bobby.
knockout.
I don't want to see Bobby get clipped, but I could 100% see him Ruffy clipping the shit out of him. But yeah, give me Ruffy here for the win. That's gonna be the pick and the lean. don't know what I'm going to do in terms of a bet, though.
Yeah, you want the honest truth. I'm more inclined to pick the dog here than ever because this line is outrageous. They got Ruffy at a -600, King Green at a +430.
Yeah, I didn't realize it was that wide.
And this should give you an automatic on how I'm going to go about this. Ruffy, very good with his kicks. His boxing is not exceptional.
I agree with that.
Throws in singles, doesn't throw in combination. The guys that give Bobby a lot of trouble are the guys who throw in combination. The Drew Dobers, the Jalin Turners. They'll work the jab and then throw over the top with the right hand. Ruffy kind of pops in and out with the straights, pops in and out with the right hand. If you give Bobby enough space to see what's coming at him and counter, and he's an exceptional counter puncher. I feel like this is a fight where I can see him exploiting this dude. And yeah, so what if Ruffy has somewhat of a grappling background? I don't think he's gonna be able to get Bobby to the floor. And if he gets Bobby to the floor, Bobby's gonna pop right back up or Ruffy's gonna get tired.
I mean, I see no grappling in this fight whatsoever, to be honest, but
why? If Bobby pressures him,
true.
There can be a shot here. I just think people underrate how good Bobby's wrestling is. He's very good. I know he got ran through by Islam, but Islam's probably one of the best lightweights ever. Jalin Turner caught him with a good shot. Referee nearly lost Bobby's life that fight. So I just feel like this line is a little unjustified. And I feel like, for a guy who works behind kicks, and kicks are much harder to get to the telegraph points than punches because they come from the floor and your punches come from straight across. I just feel like this is an exploitable fight for Bobby. I don't know if I'm there yet with playing him.
I mean, listen, I didn't even look at the odds before this, so +400, that sounds like on a Bobby.
It's a system play.
In a fight where he's
not going to get wrestled.
Yeah, he's going to be primarily on the feet. I don't hate that.
Yeah, Bobby, sharp puncher, laser-like precision. Probably one of the best boxers in the UFC, to be frank. And I know people, slander this man a little bit. I don't know why, but I've been a Bobby fan for a long time already. I've been watching him since forever.
I think his attitude just rubs people the wrong way, but I mean, I'm a fan of him.
I'm a fan of him.
I love Bobby.
Yeah,
we got to stop saying Bobby. King Green.
King.
The King.
I think King Green is that. I don't know if he's gonna win. I'm gonna lean Ruffy, but man, at these odds, you gotta play King Green, especially with his precision and his boxing skill. Give me Ruffy as the lean. Give me King Green as a possible dog play.
Next fight on the card at women's strawweight, the featured bout of the evening, we have Amanda Lemos going one-on-one with Iasmin Lucindo. Lemos is 14-4-1. Fighting out of Brazil, hailing from Brazil, 37 years old. Lucindo, 17-5. Fighting out of Brazil, hailing from Brazil, 23 years old. Extremely wide age gap. First thing that pops up. I think this is going to be an entertaining fight. We got two women here. I've always been a fan of Lemos. I'll just admit it. I'm a bit of a fanboy. She hits hard.
Nasty.
Love her striking. I love her attitude in there. She's got sneaky, she's got a sneaky submission game as well. Also a fan of Lucindo though. I'm, putting all cards on the table. I think she's a fun young fighter. Also got some pop in the hands. Also got decent striking. And she has been, as of late, not even as of late, she goes to a wrestling a lot as well here. And this fight is kind of tough for me to pick because I'm trying to put my biases to the side. And I feel like I want to pick Lemos here because, it's a huge step up in competition for Lucindo, in my opinion. I mean, Lemos has literally only lost to like the top of the top, especially recently. And in particular, it's because of their wrestling, right? Strong, powerful women who can just take her down and fuck her up. Is Lucindo that caliber of fighter? I think she can be. She does have the wrestling acumen to get there. She has been taking down her opponents and beating them up. I do question if she does have the physicality to do it. Everything is pointing to Lucindo win here, so I'm gonna be picking Lucindo here. I'll admit I'm the confidence is a bit low, but you can't ignore the intangibles that Lucindo brings to the octagon. So I think this is a Lucindo fight. I think this might be a bit of a passing of the torch, and hey man, we gotta welcome in the new generation sooner or later. So give me Lucindo for the win.
And to piggyback off what you said, I do think this is a new generation fighter. She's not even 25 years old yet. She does work in the wrestling. She knows when to strike and when to be close. She's very good at getting to the body lock and getting you to the floor off of outside trips, inside trips, and as well just rocking you down to the floor if she has to. Lemos, older. Let's see if she even makes weight. How is she going to look in the second or third round of this fight when she gets tired? And I agree with you. She has only really lost to the higher level of competition. But when people ask me if Lucindo can get her to the floor, look at the fights that she's won where she's been taken down. Michelle Waterson is an atom weight and took her to the floor. And I don't know if Lemos wasn't expecting it. She was able to adjust and get the guillotine the second round. But Lemos does go to that guillotine a lot, and it does get her in a little bit of trouble. I think she tried to do it against Verna.
Yes.
And got her in trouble. This is a sneaky fight ends in sub play for a couple of reasons. Lucindo is very good against the head and arm. She's very good at getting your back. Lemos, good guillotine. I feel like there's going to be a lot more wrestling exchanges in this fight than people expect. This fight is lined at a pick'em. You're going to get a little bit of EV, in my opinion, on Lucindo, because I think Lucindo's going to get it done. But I definitely understand why Vegas is skeptical to give it to anyone at this point, because Lemos can still crack. I just would love to see how she looks on a scale. Like, I want to see if she looks motivated for this fight. I want to hear she's talking. She is older. She got her title shot. She got rinsed. She's not going to work back there, it looks like, not anytime soon, because Zhang Weili is going to probably move up. Is she going to have a Yan Shannon return performance? I don't think so. I think this is a passing of the torch moment. Give me Lucindo. Just give me Lucindo. I don't know how. The money line's good enough to play, but she could finish it, could go to decision, but give me Lucindo here.
Next fight on the card at lightweight, and is currently constituted the co-main event of the evening. We have the highlight, Justin Gaethje going one-on-one with Atman. Rafael, is it Fiziev or
Fiziev,
or is it Fiziev?
Fiziev. I've heard it pronounced both ways, so
I'm gonna say Fiziev. I apologize if I'm pronouncing that incorrectly. Gaethje, 25-5, fighting out of Colorado, 36 years old. Fiziev, fighting out of Thailand, 12-3 overall, but repping Azerbaijan. He's Azerbaijanian.
Yeah, I think you're right. That's pretty good.
32 years old. Not Gaethje's original opponent. It was supposed to be Dan the Hangman Hooker, and ended up pulling out last minute with a hand injury. Unfortunately, that would have been a nice fight to watch, to be honest.
Yeah, they would have shortened each other's lifespans.
Oh yeah,
to be frank with you,
and
that fight was going to be hard to watch.
It would have been.
Yeah.
And the only people that would have benefited were the fans, to be honest.
Yeah,
not good for both guys either way. So out falls Hooker, in comes Fiziev. We get in a rematch. Fiziev coming off a year and a half layoff. Also fought Gaethje before 2 years ago. It's a fight I'm not mad that it's happening.
No,
not at all.
Because it was so close the first fight, in my opinion.
Excellent. It was an excellent fight. Now we're here 2 years later. Gaethje's a little more battle worn. Fiziev maybe a little more rusty. It is going to be a 3-round fight. It's a fight where, originally it was dog or pass. It might be dog or pass once again. I didn't go with the dog the first time, and probably stubbornly enough, I'm probably not going to go with the dog here again. I'm going to be leaning Fiziev here. I know the question marks are there. How is he going to look coming off the knee surgery? I know essentially a year and a half layoff, but I think I am a little worried on the Gaethje side. Extensive damage. He's just getting older. Can't keep fighting the way he's fighting, man. This is the same reason I tried to fade him the last time. I feel like it's just more validated now, 2 years later. Give me Fiziev here for the win. Probably by decision, but I wouldn't be so surprised at a late round stoppage, like 3rd round stoppage. But I think Fiziev is the side here. But in terms of a betting perspective, it's probably dog or pass, because Justin Gaethje's still Justin Gaethje at the end of the day. I don't hate anybody going either way on this one, but I'm going to be picking officially Fiziev.
Yeah, I'm just watching this line movement, and Gaethje's number is getting smashed down because people are actually playing him. I'm on you with the Fiziev side here, and the reason being is because if you watch the first fight, I know a lot of people were very adamant that Justin won the first fight. That's a strong argument. Fiziev won the first fight.
I'm surprised they didn't go split decision, to be honest. I think that was a very split decision-ish fight.
Yeah, don't get me wrong. I know Justin landed more damage, but it was off of single shots. Fiziev was doing the better work for most of the round and stung Justin in a few of those exchanges. So it's this is a 2 years later. Fiziev coming off a knee injury from the Gamrot fight, just blew his knee out. I have more faith that he's gonna be all right, because he's taken the adequate amount of time off. His strength and conditioning is fantastic. He's very explosive. He's gonna be the faster guy in this fight against a guy in Gaethje who got knocked out. The knockout of the century, arguably, in UFC history, by Max Holloway at the end of the 5th round. And face planted. Bad. It was a bad knockout. It hasn't even been a year yet, technically, in time. For me, I'm very worried about how Justin's gonna react to punches in this fight.
Yeah, that's a big major concern, because the way he got flatlined by Max
was bad, and he's 38 years old. So for me, it's this is, and then people talk about that fight, but Fiziev's a cleaner puncher than Max. He's a more technical striker. He just is, and there's no slight to Max. It's just Max is a guy from 45, not historically known for his punching power, and this is a guy in Fiziev who is melted everyone except Gamrot and Gaethje. So now he's kind of still in his prime. Gaethje coming out of his prime. I feel like Fiziev is the definite lean here. And I'm just waiting for the line to go because if Fiziev gets anywhere close to pick him or dog money, he's the play here. Give me Fiziev here as the lean. I'm not confident enough to play Gaethje. I'm not. And by the way, I think Fiziev has more adjustments to make in the fight. Justin Gaethje, we know what he is. He's not a guy that's going to throw jabs. He's a hooker, uppercutter, overhander. Fiziev, if he works behind the jab and stays on the outside, he can win this fight. If he picks apart Justin for the leg kicks, he can do that. He's also shown that he can take Justin's leg kicks. He trains in Thailand too, so he's going against some of the best kickers in the world.
He's by far on paper the more dynamic striker.
He's the better guy. He's got the better skills, man. And, I faded him the first fight. The fight was super close. I didn't hate the Justin decision, but I thought Fiziev won. I'm going to go back to the well here. I put the younger guy who I think just has the better skills. Give me Fiziev here. And on the money line, because it's good enough to play.
Next fight on the card at men's light heavyweight for the light heavyweight championship of the world. We have Poatan, Alex Pereira, Chama, going one-on-one with Magomed Ankalaev. Poatan is 12-2 overall, the champion, fighting out of Brazil, hailing from Brazil, 37 years old. Ankalaev, 21-1, the challenger, fighting out of Russia, hailing from Russia, 32 years old. So we're finally getting the fight at light heavyweight that everybody's wanted. For all the Poatan haters, we're finally getting the guy who's gonna, I guess restore order to light heavyweight when he takes him down and beats him up. And then for the Pereira side here, he's finally getting the probably the most problematic matchup he has in the division.
Correct.
Out of the way. Who wins this fight? I'm gonna be leaning Alex Pereira here. And it's only, listen, on paper, if Ankalaev takes this man down, theoretically he should win. Issue with Ankalaev is that you don't really go to the wrestling as much as people want him to go to, or that he even, he just doesn't do it. He gets a takedown. He averages almost a takedown a fight. It's not how you think he gets it. If you watch the tape, he's not really shooting.
It's weird, man.
He gets, the body locks, against the cage trips. Is he going to do that against Pereira? He's got 5 rounds to do it. Theoretically, yeah. Theoretically, he should be the side, but this fight's going to be primarily on the feet. It's going to be a stand-up matchup, probably for, I say, over 80% of the fight. He's a very good striker, in my opinion. I think he's got underrated hand speed, probably some underrated power, but he's going against probably the best striker in the division right now. What can you say about Pereira? Chama, give me Pereira here for the win. I just feel like this is going to be some kind of meme bonk knockout here in the making, because Ankalaev is going to, for some reason or another, refuse to take the man down. And I'm also a fan of Pereira. All cards on the table. I'm biased as fuck. Give me Pereira for the win. Don't follow my advice on the betting perspective, because I can't separate it. I can't do it.
I will separate it. Ankalaev should be the lean here.
Okay.
And he should be the lean because he has the wrestling upside. There's no question about it. With that said, this is a fight that I probably will stay away from. The more I think about it, the more there's so many variables to this fight. As my brother mentioned, Ankalaev doesn't really open mat wrestle. And if you're going to work against the cage against Pereira, who is a humongous light heavyweight, he was a humongous middleweight, he's a humongous light heavyweight. A guy who has the better striking, in my opinion. Ankalaev has underrated striking, but doesn't have the same level of power or damage a Poatan can inflict on an opponent. And this is also a guy in Ankalaev who has clear wrestling upside in some of his fights, but then chooses to stand with you. The Jan Blachowicz fight didn't go to the wrestling until his leg was completely torn apart. He would have went to the wrestling earlier, he would have completely secured that fight. He has been doing certain things lately, and we watched in the fight footage. He's predominantly an orthodox fighter, but he went southpaw against Rakic.
For
why?
The entire fight, by the way.
Why? And I think it's because Rakic has a similar style to Poatan. He's just not as effective with it. Likes the lower leg kick, the lower outside leg kick, likes to lead you into the left hand. The problem is he's going to be fighting Poatan, who does that better than everyone. Yeah, you can take away the lower leg kick on the outside, but Poatan also stands pretty square, can also flick the other left leg and hit your other leg that you have forward. Whichever leg you have forward, he can chew. They both switch stances. They both can make adjustments in this fight. I think Poatan makes better reads and he has more devastating lights out power. Rakic was able to lean Ankalaev into the left hand at a couple of times in that fight. Rakic's dumb ass can do that. I feel like Poatan can probably find the spots here.
Could definitely set it up for sure.
So for me, it's like, pick your poison. Are you going to let him kick your legs, which you've shown you can't do? Or are you going to walk into that left-hand bomb, which no one has been able to survive at this point? And for me, I feel like Ankalaev if he just wrestles him, he can win this fight pretty easily. And the thing is, I know Pereira's been working with Glover. I get that. There's levels. And there's levels to using it in fights. Jerry took him down, for fuck's sake, you know? And Jerry's not a wrestler. So, but Jerry has wrestling capability, so I don't want to take anything away from him. Big, strong guy, too. So, Ankalaev, I don't think it's as strong as Jerry, but the technique is much better than Jerry's. Ankalaev is the lean here, but just based on everything I gave you, Poatan has a path here to knock this fucker out. This smells like a meme knockout. It does. I don't know what about it. This fight stinks. It's a line that I pick him because Vegas doesn't know what to do with it. Honestly, this is a fight that you should probably stay away from. I'm curious as to the over, because if it's over 1.5, that's playable. You play that shit. I think that's probably the way you want to lean with this fight. If you think Ankalaev is going to win, it's probably going to go to decision because he might be the most boring light heavyweight ever.
Yeah, because I could just see him cage pushing and just holding him down too.
He's 220 pounds, can't finish his salad.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? He doesn't finish anybody. But if you're betting Poatan, you probably bet him for the stoppage here because I don't know if he's going to win on points against Ankalaev. But my thing is, it's also a situation where if he puts damage on that leg, is Ankalaev going to be able to kick off a bit to get the takedowns? Because Blachowicz was able to get that kick effectively down to the calf multiple times in the contest, and that's why it came out to a draw. So for me, this fight stinks for a lot of reasons. I think it's a dog or pass spot. Ankalaev is the dog, and I think he has the wrestling upside anyway, so I think he's the lean. But man, I don't feel confident either way on this fight. But if you're asking me who I want preferably to win, I want Poatan to knock this fucker out and move up to heavyweight. I really do. Because once he beats him, he's got no one left in this division. Everyone else has 1 or 2 losses. No one can get past Jerry, who's a gatekeeper who he's beaten twice. Man, if Poatan can get this done, he might be in the discussion for 3rd best light heavyweight of all time. And he's going to start putting himself in some serious discussions for the GOAT conversation if he can double champ up the way he's done and beat everyone the way he's done and then move up to heavyweight. And if he can get a bout there, which I don't think he's going to be able to do.
I don't think that's out the realm of possibility either. I mean, because it's like most heavyweights don't really wrestle either. It's like if he just avoids the wrestlers, they matchmake him properly, right? I mean, he's got a path.
Right, but if he fights Aspinall or John Jones or Curtis Blaydes, tough fights for him, man.
True.
Tough fights for him. None of those boys can stand with him, by the way. That's my point. The thing is, though, those guys won't engage him the way Ankalaev will. Ankalaev will stand with him. Those motherfuckers are going to shoot on him. They're not even going to play. So my thing is, not only are they bigger and they wrestle better, they have better fight IQ than Ankalaev. And you got, like, if you're betting Poatan, you got to hope that Ankalaev is just stupid. If he at any point gets this fight to the floor, he could stop it.
He should stop it.
He should. But like I said, I know Alex Pereira has been working with Glover, so I would love to see it. But the thing is, I think he's going to win by decision. I think you play him by decision if you're going to play him. But give me Ankalaev as the lean, not with a high degree of confidence.
And that does it for today's episode. That does it for today's combat coverage. And without further ado, we're not going to hold you up anymore. My brother, take us home.
Like, comment, subscribe, follow Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok.
Everybody enjoying the visual portion of this podcast, please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and hit that notification bell to stay up to date.
And for all of our audio listeners, Spotify, Apple, Google Podcast, you already know.
Bam, Jama.
Love you guys. Episode 90 in the books. Holla at you guys. See you next week. A lot of great fights for next week. Enjoy the fights this weekend. It's a short pay-per-view card, but we make the best of it. I think there's some sneaky good fights on this card. So enjoy. Take it easy. See you next time.